Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independent Street Tarot and Seasons of Ritual, and this is going to be part of my healer series where I interview healers. And I'm very excited to welcome back Miss Aidi Kansas.
Hi,
She,
hello.
she is a death doula, a actor,
Medium,
a medium, a sex what we
sex, death activist,
sex
death
death.
medium artist.
So,
Um,
and I was about to use your services about 3 minutes ago while I was hauling ass back to my house in this heat.
what,
Heidi and I had planned to do this, and we had a good Mercury retrograde moment where the communication got a little wonky, and I was
yeah.
trying to take the bus, and the bus was significantly delayed, is what they said.
uh
So I don't know when it was going to come. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to power walk back to my house. And there was a few times where I thought my life was flashing before my eyes. In the
But
it's a little hot. It's a little hot. But I would have come and saw you, and your mediumship skills could have. Yes, that's what I need. My punta, my punta water. I would have came and talked to you. Your mediumship skills,
Mhm.
um, because I was maybe a few times I was thought, oh my shit. I hope I don't die.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of death. A lot of people thinking about death a lot lately.
Yes, and so in a more serious note, I would like to talk about that. And I always being that I work with astrology as well, we have 6 planets in retrograde right now. And I think when the planets go retrograde, we start to look back over our lives. And then we
Okay,
start to see things start to come up that maybe in our lives spiritually need to die, need to
yeah,
get rebirthed. And then also, I mean, it's just a part of life that people do transition. So I don't
yeah.
I don't think there's more deaths at a certain time than any other time. I'm not that kind of astrologer, so
Right. So, what I like about what we're going to talk about right now today is I have decided to share what I've been through the last couple of weeks. And as someone who is surrounded by death and dying, I work, believe it or not, mostly with pets these days.
I believe
So
it. You help me with my pet. You help me with Francis.
I know. So I work with that, but I also work with humans too, but also the just death in general. And uh, I have, I have a sister. We're 11 months apart. My dad died in February, and my sister it's been almost 6 months. And my sister, her health has declined significantly in the last few months,
Mhm.
but notably in the last month and a half, she's starting to have like really painful symptoms. And so we wanted to see what was going on, and got her to the doctor. And the healthcare system is just ridiculous. It's like to get an appointment with a neurologist is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so what we're dealing with is possibly autoimmune disorder. It could be worse. It could be MS. It could be ALS. It could be so many different things. And time is running out, and we are using different type of healing modalities with her, and we're gonna schedule a an acupuncturist, and so doing all the things, and then I am in charge of everything, okay? Because I am a single mom, and I lost, after a 21-year marriage, I lost a community of people and family and friends. It's like made me really think about how feminism plays into all of the things that I'm experiencing, and namely just the way that the world treats divorce and families, and in particular single moms. It's like
Mhm.
I still have all the things that I'm taking care of times 10, plus very small support system, and for like the big things in life.
Right.
And so this hit me hard and came out of nowhere. So I mean, it's like I thought I was doing great,
Right.
and you and I had a conversation. We were talking about like in like the intuition kicking in. It's like something's coming, something's about,
Something's
something is,
knocking on the door.
yeah, we're
Like,
like,
do you hear that? I'd be like, I don't know. Do you hear that? And maybe.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so
I heard something. Yeah.
yeah, and I've been having trouble with this ear, and I went to the doctor, to my primary, and I told her, I said, listen, I think I need something checked out. I have to go to an ENT or whatever. And then she knows about my sister because that's her primary. And she asked me, she's like, well, God, you sound like you have a lot going on in your life. Are you okay? And are you depressed? And I said, not at the moment, but I feel like I could be headed in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, is that a
Right.
thing? It's just like it just shows up, and then it was like, and then it would show up, and
Right.
so um and so she gave me some meds, and I just had them on hold at the pharmacy. I was like, just in case I thought I'll need them. And then it hit me hard, like where my sister's health and the decline and all the shit that I'm dealing with. And then you don't even realize, but like the hardest thing that hit me was her apartment complex is haunted.
This is true. This is another story for another time, but it is fucking haunted.
Hey, but it was too much to handle.
Right. This
So,
is real, you guys. Like this is real. Like she's gone through the loss of her father. Well, she went through the loss of her divorce, and then the loss of her father, and then the declining health of her sister, and then on top of it all, where her sister lives is fucking haunted.
yeah, very haunted.
Yes. And not like really, it's like, oh yeah, it is.
It
Like
is. It
so
is.
and so what I find great about this conversation is that and I because when I talk about myself as well and work with other people, and we do this every day, how we work in our realms and things like that. But we also experience the day to day. We also experience life,
Yes. Yes.
and so and again, I know I keep going back to these retrogrades, but like when these retrogrades came back over and then all of a sudden it was you know, back like you said, it was revisiting the ending of
Yeah.
a marriage, of a
Yeah.
partnership, which
Mhm.
which you were okay with. You were okay.
Oh yeah, no, we have a great everything. I couldn't have asked for a better, more amicable,
Uncoupling.
and post it's been 4 years, like it's fine. Just my sister being sick somehow, you know, made all the old ghosts come up,
Yeah.
and like, okay, this is not good.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I heard every planet was in retrograde.
Yes. You're welcome. Um, but the thing is that when these things come up, we go to our tools. We talk about this a lot. We go back to our tools. And and I was telling you the story maybe like 2 years ago. I had a depression come on. And it had to do with my family. They live in Alabama and I live in New Orleans, and I was visiting them at the time. And I can't remember if it was a specific event or just the fact that I was there. But I got depressed, and I came back to New Orleans, and it was a very interesting depression because the entire time I was depressed, I kept thinking to myself, I know this depression is going to end, which before when I would fall into deep depressions, I didn't know if it was going to end. I didn't know if I just didn't know. And
That's
and what
true,
was
and
coming up.
that's
Say it
very
again.
accurate. How I felt too.
And so I had to say, okay, what is causing this depression? And I had to like sit with that storyline. And it was like me grieving and mourning that storyline that had to end and had to die. And it's very interesting. And I know because you kind of just went through the same thing. And when and when you're going through it, you're going through it. Okay. When you're on the other side of it, you're on the other side of it.
Right.
But I just remember going through it, and every day I would wake up and I'd be like, is the depression still here? And I'd be like, yep, okay. But I knew it was going to end. And it, like I said, and it was intense at that time. It was intense to sit with that, what I called a death.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, yeah, it is grief. It is most definitely grief. Um, and and I don't experience that very often.
Mhm.
My dad died. I was happy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but and we'll talk about one of the tools that I used, but anyway, so I was like, finally, he's out of his misery, suffering. He's not making us miserable. I mean, it was a great um, passing.
Yeah.
And so when my
Which was,
sister got
well, excuse me,
as a
which was a juxtaposition to your dad's lifetime here on Earth. It was very hard for you guys.
yep, yep, yeah, I'm not this horrible, ruthless, evil. No, I have my reasons,
Right.
And as a death doula, I did my job. I was there for him, and I gave him not beyond a good death. I gave him a loving death. He was surrounded with love, and so I'm, very happy that he's, like I said, he's no longer suffering. However, with my sister, it's been very different. Something about her being like the only family member that I have outside of my kids now that's blood. It's like you really hyper focus on, the what you have, and it's like it's about, it could be taken away from me. And so that was very difficult, and made me second guess everything about my work, about
Mhm.
who I am, and like, why do I have the authority to speak on these things? Like, who the fuck do I think I am? Like, everything. And when it comes to my work, I have always been very sure about my experiences.
Mhm. Yes.
and my experiences as a medium for 11 years, and as a death and sex activist for 7. Okay, I have collected many experiences.
Mhm.
So for me to doubt myself and my work and my ability to create change in the world really took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Took me it took me down. Yep.
Yeah. And
Um
and I find that and I think it's important to talk about this because I go through these same things, right? And there are times in my life where I know, I just know. And then there are times, and that's when I say, oh, there's a shift. There's a shift. What am I,
but
and what am I doubting? But also it's like I have to start listening. What is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to learn? And what is it that I need to let die? I
yeah,
you have to keep letting go of things in order for new things to come in, and we talk about it all the time. And then when it happens to me, I'm like, what the hell? So
listen, when I was in of my dark ass abyss of a hole, I was like, this I hope ends, okay? Because what I know about this, if it ends, is that it's gonna be this really great thing that I could, ignite. Like, and if I make it, if I make it, the reward is gonna be great.
and that yeah, and that was the thing. Like I could see you going through this, and I'm always
Oh,
like, hey,
body away. I was like, leave me alone.
oh, I know. I know. So I would let Heidi have maybe 3 days and then I check in.
Oh my God.
Um,
So sorry. I'm so sorry to everybody I pushed away. Ugh.
it didn't push me away. So I don't know if I'm just ignorant or what, because I would still call and we would get a few chuckles in and then I'd go, okay.
I
Um,
know.
I also knew when you got to the other side of this was going to be huge. Help teach people like myself and others in your work.
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing is that people assume, that uh, people in my position, in your position, like, we have it all figured out, and we have the tools and the resources, and we do, but that that we don't need them or we don't
Right.
use them each. And it's like, no,
Right.
we need them. I needed them. And there was, there was, I knew what I needed to do. I knew every time something like this doesn't happen very often to me, but when it happens on a smaller scale, I'm like, oh, I have my tools. I have clit meditation. I have my aromatherapy, like all my oils and my, you know, all my wares come out. But when it's this deep and dark,
Right.
okay, it takes everything to get to a place where you're like, where are my tools? Where are my tools? You know,
Yes. Yes.
I was on that. I was not at like, let me pull out all my wares and get the witchery going. That shit was nowhere to be. I had to sit and in it and move through it.
And I could say, you know, looking on the outside in and sitting on this side watching, it's hard because, you know, I just want to say, okay, come on, let's go, let's do this, you know, let's put on some sneakers or let's go get ice cream and all this stuff. And I think, you
You're
know,
trying
and
to organic wine bar, remember?
yes, we went to the organic wine bar. She was like, she goes,
I, I cut my bangs.
and I said, oh no.
That's when it started. That's when the whole thing started.
And I said, well, okay, look, if you are, we all know this as women, when we
I'm like,
decide to cut our own bangs, it's time to call a friend. Okay.
wait,
I'm just gonna,
no, no, no. You're like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And I was just like, okay, clip, clip, clip.
and when you got in the car, I was like, oh no. Oh, so I was glad you got in the car. And I said, we could have stayed on the phone and because you could have told me you were thinking about cutting your bangs.
I
Uh,
know this grow overnight. So it's like, I don't even.
and this is one of the lessons that I learned, you know, going through this with you and as and you know, as friends or as colleagues and things, like we all have to decide when to make a call with a friend and say, you know, it's one thing to be like, hey, do you need some help? You can, you know, reach out, and you and I are fine with that. We check in all the time. And then there was this other thing that was happening, and it taught me so much about trust and faith and patience. And this was something that I wasn't able to talk to you in real time, you know,
Yeah,
because, you know, it just wasn't. And I can expound on that later in a different interview or a different video by myself. But I just knew. And I mean, I just knew. And I was like, I have to be patient with Heidi and just keep holding her in love. And
you.
it's not easy. It's not
No,
easy. It's not like, oh, you know, like, oh no, you put me through anything. It was literally like the best learning tool
yeah.
ever. And it made me trust more in what we can't see or what we can't talk about, but what we move through and move in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, so yeah, I wanted to just share like some of the things that I did that really helped.
Hmm.
And um when I was in it, I would I didn't want to talk for very long. I was just, you know, texting with people mostly.
Hmm.
But also um I I knew I needed to keep busy in the house. Like it's not in my nature when I'm down to just lay on the sofa for whatever, because I have a condition that will flare up. I have interstitial cystitis, and so there are things that I have to do that also it was flaring up. So I was like, there's something really going on here. So emotionally, I was doing things to keep busy. So I watched a documentary called The Talking Women.
Hmm.
Okay, inspiring and just perfect for me to watch about women leaving a religious extremist colony. And then I watched, for whatever reason, I was on it, and then I saw like the Duggar family documentary, like
Uh,
the behind the scenes, like there was a, sex scandal on the reality show. I didn't watch the show, but I knew this woman had 20 kids, and I'm like, who in the fuck? And so it was, yeah, she belonged to some Christian evangelical, order, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of
Mhm.
come to the forefront. Like
Mhm.
I would, I would gravitate to that type of subject matter. And it was healing because I am working very hard in my life, okay, to bring attention to the destructive, all the things that happen when women are censored and silenced and being raised in a religious environment,
Mhm.
extreme environment, and we're letting like these men just occupy the top tier of the hierarchy, and it's like they make all the fucking rules and decisions, and it just like fueled me. And people always say, well, maybe you need to take some time off of work and just chill and let
Yeah.
everything pass. Work is what fuels me.
And it does. And it really
Yeah.
does. And I was kind of touching on this yesterday when you and I were talking, or maybe it was the day before, but I was like, you just being you every day and showing up in your t-shirt that says like I love abortion or whatever on it, it's just healing for the
thank,
world.
thank you.
Yep. And so
Thank you.
it's important for us to really know that and see that in each other, especially as like women. We always think maybe we have to be doing something, and just
Yeah. Yeah.
is really powerful too.
Yeah, I sent everyone away and I was like, let me just do what I need to do. I can't be a mom right now. I can't be anything. I have to be just here for myself and listen to what I want. And what I wanted, it
Yeah.
was, I just wanted to watch documentaries. I smoked weed. That helped pull me out of it.
Hmm.
Um, I used agua de puta. That really helped me.
Hmm.
I put it away and then I like sprayed it and then I was like, hi, bling bling. This is it. This was how uplifting. This is good. This is good. Something about the ingredients in this that just really
And
works on depression. I'm sorry. For me. For me.
no, I use it. I spray it every day. I
Thank you. I
spray
love
it.
it.
I'll put a link to where people can purchase it. Uh,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Um,
And also, I wanted to ask you, did you do any of your fan dancing or?
oh yes, I did. I
Yes.
did the video. Yeah, I did a video. I posted a video on the Instagram.
Okay.
My last video was like right before I headed into the road.
See you guys.
Yeah, it headed straight down
Yeah.
seconds after the video. I was like, but movement helps. Popsicles. I ate popsicles. I was just like, there was this one time where like I took these little nails things, okay? And I just walked around all day and I ate food and I just like took the day. It's just like all day long. I just walked around and things. And I made videos. Like I just did videos of me with the hand and stuff. Just think it's
Yeah,
one of my fun. Then I painted my hands, my nails, this glittery.
they're very
Uh,
pretty.
what's her name?
Annette.
Theirs. They're like, you need glitter nail polish. So I got that. And then
It-
read the big one. This was so good. So I read the Jeanette McCurdy book. I'm glad my mom died, because I'm glad my dad died. But
yeah,
I'm glad I read that. And Rich White Men. That's what I've been reading. But it was one of the things that I think like was a catalyst for this whole breakdown. So I
hmm,
took a break from that. So I noticed like what things are healing and what things are just put me in a fit of rage. And heteropatriarchy
yeah.
is not have to take a break sometimes.
That wasn't the healing touch.
I need it, and it's never the healing is what I have come to know.
And I think that's important, right? That's just important as just to notice where we are, you know, if we notice like we are in a depression and we're still doing things, right? And it's not ignoring the depression, but would you say it's like actively working with it, like knowing, okay, this is where I am, like, but you
Yeah.
keep taking a time out to check in with yourself? Does that
Yes.
make sense? Okay.
Oh, absolutely, it makes sense. What are you fucking talking about? It's all what it is. That is what it is. It's like you have to be able to work through it and acknowledge it, and then also, you know, be a witness to it. Like all that stuff is important.
Mhm.
And to pretend like it's not happening, or oh my God, where are we gonna get with that? I'm like, the greatest joy is today to be able to say, y'all, I was in hell for the last 2 weeks. Okay. And I am on the other side of it. And I'm so happy that I am alive to talk about it, because this is the shit. This is how people die. This is
Yeah.
how people suicide.
Mhm.
And I already told y'all that I am a chronic pain sufferer, and I had an illness for 8 years. I'm sorry, 10 years. But for 8 of those years, I had to take opiates almost around the clock. And you know, I did the math one day. Like I had COVID, and I was just like the COVID fever, and I was in my head doing the math, and it came out to like 16,146 pills. That's how many opiates I take. I should not be alive. Okay,
Mhm.
I am though. Here
Yeah.
I am. All right. And I am here to tell you that that bout of depression that like shook me to the core, all right, I learned a lot from it.
Mhm.
So, and I needed the meds from the physician. I went and got my prescription, and I was like, I can't be having panic attacks in my
Right.
sleep.
Right.
Bullshit. I got to get a handle on this.
Right. And I
Um,
think that's important because a lot of times when I work with clients too, I ask them, are you on anxiety pills? Are you on antidepressants? And sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no, but we do talk about it for a minute because it is important to get stabilized.
Yes. Yep, yep, yep. And so I just think that it's all, yeah, it's whatever you need, and open up to all the possibilities,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I saw you go, you know.
what?
Okay. I don't know what that means.
You know, I mean, I guess all of the
Okay, why don't we, but we could do, mention a little bit about a clit sit, your clit sit meditation.
all right,
That's a
so
that's a, you know.
that that helps me all the time, every day, and helps my clients and stuff. It is a meditation hack is what I've grown to see as the safest way to explain this
Mhm.
without digital platforms hate this meditation. They don't like, they want me to just shut up. Okay. Klitze meditation, I call it a meditation hack. All right. And it is what I use, since the majority of my clients are women and those in the LGBTQ community. So we are holding our clitoris like you have to pee, okay? Like you have to pee really bad. You just hold that and you close your eyes and you meditate, and you will slip into a meditative state, a theta state. I always say in less than 2 to 3 minutes, and that's just how it's been. And so I was able to gain the benefits of meditation when I started meditating this way, and I wanted to share that with my clients, and I did, and then that was a success. But as soon as I wanted to speak about it publicly, like on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, it's like I got shut down. People reported me.
Yeah.
And my page recently was disabled, the big page on
Yeah.
Instagram.
So
These are all the
she's got a new page and you've got a YouTube channel.
follow. Uh-huh.
How many followers? What did you say?
One more, baby, and I love every single one.
Yeah.
Because everything that's there is like, I really want to be here,
Yeah.
you know. All right. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I bet you that happened. Yeah, that happened and really was the culprit too. Like that when I was depressed,
Yeah.
I went that. I'm like, how am I ever going to build a following again? It's just so exhausting, you know, and does it even fucking matter?
And I'm
So
like,
that
yes, yeah, you got this. And I
what?
was like, what? Yeah, I was like, no, I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. We'll get you more followers and all this stuff. And you were like,
Huh?
and we did but we did, but we are, and then you got this, right? Like you said, you have 164 followers, and with
Yep.
those, all of them are like all eyes on you. You know, like they want to learn things. It's interactive. And so it is one of those things like seeing through the illusion, right? Thinking, oh, it's got to look a certain way. And then when it's presented to you a different way, sometimes we get freaked out about it, but it's like, holy shit, this is exactly what I want, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
know that it is the most healing freaking meditation in the world. Okay. It's not just that, it's a movement too. Okay. I mean, my dream used to be like, wow, one day I'm gonna sit in the room full of people and they're all gonna be holding their clitorises, and they're gonna be like, yeah. And I'm like, I have gotten that several times in my life, you know? And then the motivation to keep going and to keep sharing this work is exhausting.
yeah.
It, I don't care how successful and brilliant people think that Clitsit is. It's beyond exhausting to share.
Yeah. And it works.
It does work. No, that's the thing is it works. It works. And you know, it's like three things I know. Um, clit sit meditation works. Okay. Mushrooms, that's the word. That's the word. We're all going in that direction for chronic pain. Okay. Cannabis, yep, and mushrooms, there it is, second contender. And Duke's mayonnaise, like that is the best mayonnaise in the world.
Yeah. I love mayonnaise.
I'm
So
not a big person. I'm gonna tell you. But Duke's has that lemon in it, and it's like the same.
I love it. I love it.
That's what I know.
I love it. I love that too. Okay, so I also know you have to go
Time is it?
12:12 or 2:12. Sorry, 2:12.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So
Um,
we'll
yeah,
wrap this up a little bit. I do want to say people can find you on Instagram,
yes,
and
yes, you
I'll
can
put
split sit meditation,
right.
but take the I or just put Aidi Kansas. I don't know.
I'll put that on there too. So I'll put all this information in there, and I'll
I
put your email in there in the notes or whatever you call it, the comment, whatever, in this
yeah,
YouTube video. So people want to reach out to you to either take a class or to have a session with you, because you
yeah.
do people in sessions.
Oh yeah, I do people. I do people.
She does people.
I have people. I
Or
do
if they,
mediumship sessions. And I do sexual empowerment and healing sessions with anyone struggling with voice disempowerment, or you know, a lot of people that want to get into activism and they don't have, you know, the courage. And so this is I work to build courage by just simply sharing my story and the experiences that I've collected. I'm a storyteller, you know,
yeah,
um, bruja, so.
she is. And she just
Yeah.
allows people to show up. Yes, you're just allowed to show up.
Yes, I am.
And that's very empowering. Okay, well,
Thank
thank you for taking the time. And then maybe we'll do another talk where maybe we can talk more about just the how you help with the activism and helping women find their voice and stuff like that.
Oh, thank you. I would love that.
Okay, good.
That is, yeah, concentrating more on Clitsit. It's so many things that I do. That's the thing. It's like it's spiritual, it's artistic, it's activism, it's everything. But it's all one too.
Yeah. It's the perfect it's just beautiful. It just really is. So I'm so glad we're friends.
I'm so glad we are too. and I love your work as well. And I am very healed by your guidance in terms of astrology and like what is going on.
Thank
It
you.
makes sense because, you know, it feels like I'm not so lost. I feel like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to this bullshit.
Yeah. And there
There
is.
is, you know, so I don't have to stay at home. I'm not afraid of things going into retrograde, okay?
Yeah.
But I do have like something that I can follow, like a guideline, and just like, do I have to do that? Or do I have to lose my mind? No, this is probably why it's happening.
Right. And you don't have to cut your bangs either. But if you do, it's totally okay.
Need to be, they needed to be trimmed, but I would not suggest ever cutting your bangs when you're depressed.
Yeah.
That they did grow. I mean, whatever. I know how to cut my bangs, you
Yeah, they
know,
still
but
look good.
I mean, thank you, but don't do it. Don't ever do it. Just put the scissors down.
Yeah. Okay, friends. If nothing else, put the scissors down.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye. You guys like and subscribe, and I will let you know the next time. I'm gonna talk with Brittany next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga Loft, who does Reiki and she does the past life regression.
Ooh,
So I talk about that.
like that. I like that. All right, James.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.